Ebusia ye mama kwa abasronko so the Ghana Politics Avenue so ebusia mama ye mbonra ye nsemu. Ebusia endra ye be breaking wo political headline no so the mamu say eye chairman Wontumi ne lawyer Atachia etwa petition bi de koma court and I say eye attorney general say eye ne chairman Wontumi sama boy case na anka mo say court ni say on postpone emfa nko enim kakra ema omo na ono afi na wabeso eye case ni mti na osre court na say omo ntwe eye asem ne nko akiri kakra ema no ebusia endo omo kopie mu court ema court no je eye omo no asem editum ama wa postpone for omo case from final judgment from 3rd July to 20th July say omo fa enko hwehwe eye omo nsem mu ebusia di say court no age eye chairman Wontumi ne lawyer eye omo postpone amo pese court ni postpone mu omo age atum ebusia mo yenkotie nsem a eye Martin Kpebu eye lawyer Martin Kpebu di tudwa efa eye chairman Wontumi wa drop some shocking news bi afa eye chairman Wontumi ene ne lawyer eye court case no ye ba de dia ka beto amuso.
Surprised. Like I've said before, I wasn't surprised because you see, the context is that Wontumi and his people, the MPP, had been trolling AG that Ora is dead. Ora is dead. Ora Yamutu. Ora Yamutu. Ora Ogbo. If my gun would permit me. In various languages, you hear it. And various things. So, with that, it was normal for the AG to oppose the request for adjournment because you can't shy away from the fact that there is high suspicion that the change of lawyers from Apia Kubi to Senior Tachia was a ploy to delay the case. So with that cloud of heavy suspicion around the change in lawyers, I mean, it was to be expected that the AG would oppose the request for extension. It's just that from our convention, the practice, once the lawyer is new, at least, even if no matter how small, the judge was bound to give an adjournment. Otherwise, it would create a lot of, what do you call it, trouble. I mean, in terms of increasing the political temperature. And in actual fact, the refusal of the adjournment would rather have taken center stage, and the merits of the case would have been thrown away because then it would have gone into a perception of witch hunt, etc. So the judge's decision to grant the adjournment is a master stroke, although I also see that it doesn't fully satisfy what Atachian was looking for. That maybe he can manage with this. I don't know, but I heard at a point he was saying he needed 6 weeks. But I mean, if this is what he got to the court, he got from the court.
Yeah.
Let's see how he's able to work within that period.
Well, so you're right. That 6 weeks request was not granted, as far as we know, and it's just about technically what we're saying now, maybe some 17 days, because between July 3rd and 20th. But let's focus on the decision now, and based on how things played out in court today, would you say this was a fair conclusion? And how crucial will this be with respect to the written submissions that already we've been told that the defense lawyers would have up until 13th of July, which is some 10 days away from the original date of the judgment, to also file their written submissions ahead of the 20th of July, which is now the new judgment day for Chairman Wontumi in this Samurai Boy case?
It's extremely important for the accused to have his lawyer also contribute to the decision making, because not just saying contribute is an understatement. In actual fact, that the accused is given the last opportunity to, try to persuade the judge that he, the accused, is not guilty. So it's excruciatingly important, extremely important that the lawyer is given an opportunity, because you don't know, sometimes just one line in the written submissions, or call it the address, that could draw the judge's attention to something that had been overlooked all the while, right? Other times, even if there isn't anything new, at least it would then have satisfied the procedural fairness, that in terms of procedure, in terms of the optics, at least. As I mentioned, if the judge hadn't given this adjournment, and had insisted on giving judgment on July 6th. I say July 6th because, originally it was slated for July 3rd, but 3rd Friday is a holiday. So, as I mentioned, though the judge can sit on the 3rd, like we keep saying, because of the political tension, the judge will not sit on the 3rd. The judge would rather have sat on it on the 6th, most likely. So looking at it, if the judge hadn't granted this adjournment, no. The judgment would have suffered a lot of legitimacy deficit. Yes, because they would have kept saying, no, it's a witch hunt. Ghana is not coming to an end. So why was the judge rushing, etc.? You remember in October 2024, you remember the Afenyo marking case? One of the cases that is suspected to be the reasons behind the removal of Justice Tokunu. That I say suspicion because on the face of it, that wasn't one of the formal reasons tabled. But a lot of analysts think the way Justice Tokunu was too much in a hurry, that contributed to a removal. So in the same way, if this judge had gone ahead to insist and deliver judgment on 6th July, it would have suffered the same fate. This time from the MPP, they would have made a lot of noise. Why are you rushing? Why are you rushing? This. So the judge is done well by granting the adjournment. It helps to save our democracy unnecessary tension.
And you earlier indicated that from what you said, this change of the lawyers by Chairman Wontumi, from what you said, was a delay tactic. And in fact, that's why the trial judge was saying that regardless of the change in his legal representation, she was going to go ahead with that July 3 judgment day. Well, that didn't happen. Do you foresee any other tactics coming up again? Another application to delay this judgment again? As you know, some of you lawyers do. You're very specialized in knowing how to delay cases.
The most likely one is what lawyers will call motion for arrest of judgment. So before the judge grants judgment, most often the morning, maybe 30 minutes before the trial, then the lawyer finishes filing a motion to arrest the judgment. And from the way we say to arrest means physically restrain the judge from delivering the judgment for various reasons. Though a lot of the time that application will not succeed, what it does is that it often gets or it practically leads to an adjournment, which is what is often sought. I mean, a lot of criminal trials, you want more time, hoping to delay and delay. So that's the most likely candidate for that can be used. When I say it, or two, the most likely tool that can be used. But Atachian has already given his word that he's not in the business of delaying. Last Friday, he mentioned that he needed 6 weeks. I would have said grant him, provided the 6 weeks will be counted into August, so that even though the court is on vacation, the judge will come.
We've seen rescue. As I speak to you right now, there's a building collapse at Tabora. Around the
building has collapsed at Tabora.
Exactly.
As we speak.
Exactly. So
and when did you get this distress call?
We got the call around 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes
ago. So we dispatched our rescue team from our headquarters to the scene. And so they are currently there trying their best to help rescue people from the rubbles.
And a building at Tabora has just collapsed?
Yes.
I see. And we'll keep tabs on that, and I'm sure we'll also dispatch our colleagues to follow you.
And we've had a lot of rescue activities. I would say that the total number of people we've rescued today will be in the excess of about over 150 people.
About 150 people rescued today?
Yes.
In which specific areas?
So we had Chado. We had, so I have figures even from all over Ghana, where in Cape Coast we had situations like that in at Kaswa, at Nyenyano, at Taifa, at Weja, even at Domi. The places a lot of places.
You're talking about Chado here. And we got videos from some of our viewers at Chado as well. We're going to show you some of the places, the buildings that were submerged as a result of the flood waters in Chado. This is Alajo.
Yes.
You mentioned you
Alajo
did some rescues at Alajo as well.
Yes, unfortunately, personally I was there. We recovered the body of one a man we believe to be in his 60s who passed away. So I had to get the police to come in to take the body. There was also the other death tolls that I can confirm will be in the numbers of about 12 people.
12 people.
12 people. So the breakdown is that I've confirmed that 2 people, a mother and the husband, at Tema Newtown. A mother and the husband at Tema Newtown unfortunately lost their life. The one at Alajo, there was an electrocution also at Alajo. There was Achimota Alubushi, a woman and a child. They lost their lives.
I see.
Yes, at Odona, we had 4 people dying. And then Achimota,
4 people died.
yes. And Achimota Abufu, we had one man dying.
And you say so far 12 people.
12 people.
That's the death toll.
It looks like it's more, but for verifiable purposes, I'm sticking to 12 until I'm able to verify the rest of the information. But I believe there's more, and you'll be surprised that from tomorrow the death toll will rise because it's a lot of people have been reported missing, and so in the morning, that's when a lot of these information will come out.
Wow. So the 12 is what you can confirm now officially.
Yes, officially.
But because of the number of persons who have been reported missing,
yes,
there's a high likelihood that the death toll will rise.
Definitely rise tomorrow.
I see. And this 12, a mother and a child.
A mother and a child.
At where again, you say?
That was at Alugbushi.
Alugbushi.
Yes. At Achimota New Plan area.
And this Odona area, 4 people you say died?
No, so Odona, 4 people died. 3 men, 1 lady.
3 male, 1 female.
Yes.
And then we also got reports of a young boy, a young child whose body was also recovered.
Retrieved. So
is
yes,
that part of the 12?
So that's not part of the 12. So that's not part of the 12. I'm here to know exactly where that happened and maybe with the police station that handled it. So once I get those information, then officially I can add it to it. Even though I've seen the videos, for all you know, it could be an old video, just to be on the safer side.
True.
Professionally, I would want to be able to get verifiable evidence before we put it out there.
But in the process of the rescue, what did you discover could have possibly led to this extent of flooding and the destruction that we saw today?
I think attitudinal change has always been one thing that I've never been shy to say. The governments can do their best with drainage systems, but as a people, until we change our attitude, we'll still be back here having the same discussion. There was this viral video that was making waves some months ago where an elderly man was seen dumping his refuse in a drainage. And people were saying, this Salaju. So I'm not surprised things like this is happening. So we can have all the engineers put in all the strategic methods, which is very good. But until as a people, we change our attitudes. We change the indiscriminate dumping of refuse, where people see that there's rain. So this is the time that they will take advantage to cause mayhem by pouring their drainage in. It becomes very pathetic. Because no matter how much you dredge, so far as people keep dumping their refuse in there, it will still create. So it's up to our assemblies to do more, to make sure that they get people to adhere and to be responsible citizens.
But the rescue effort continues throughout the night.
Yes, definitely.
In multiple places.
Yes. So as I speak to you, and I was at our control room where we're receiving a distress call. Our team from Adina moved to Dome for a distress call. We, even including trees falling on the road, it all falls within our purview. And so no matter the time we receive the call, as and when we receive the call, we are dispatching a team.
I see. And we visited the Kwame Nkrumah circle because that's Odona.
Yes.
That's where you say 4 people out of the 12 that have been confirmed officially as have been died as a result of this floods earlier today.
Yes.
Were recorded. And this is how Odona looks right now.
Yes.
Right?
So,
the waters have receded.
So that's a good thing. That's how come we're able to now successfully face the fire head on. Because as at the morning and the afternoon, we were curtailed by the flood waters.
Right.
And
but there are no lights. I mean, these are live videos of Odona now. The place is dark.
So we are working with experience.
How's that also affecting you or impacting on your
It's
rescue?
difficult, but you see, you can't have your cake and still can't eat your cake and still have it. So as a service, yes, we wish we had lights, but then again, the lights would pose a danger to our firefighters fighting a fire, and would even pose a danger to other people around. And so we prefer to be safe in the dark than to have lights where our lives will be at risk. So it's conducive for us to work. The only problem is that
proper engagement with the company, the waste would turn into a benefit to the country, where we would have composite as fertilizer being generated as a result of the waste that is coming from our homes. Now, about 60% on records is the organic material or the waste, which means that sorting out will be a small challenge, but you can have about 60% of the waste being generated from our homes being fertilizer. Why would we allow all this to be a problem to our gutters, creating a lot of problem aside the wetland that have been taken over? So let's see how the local government ministry will now sit back. It's a sober reflection. See how they can re-engage these people. I think the last time these tricycles were complaining, they said, I think the charges would have been a problem. I think government can still sit down with the institution, that's the Zoom Line or whatever company it is, and then see how they can subsidize for the various tricycles or the waste. These are the substation, more or less like a substation. There are stations where they are supposed to be collected because these vehicles cannot travel on our motorways. But in the wisdom of the facilitators, what they have done is that, okay, let's have this dotted landfill site across the country where this vehicle can just move and dump there. So they will now use their long trailers to move their design landfills. And I think government should have a sober reflection with the local government ministry and engage this institution to make sure that we address this issue in the nearest possible time. Otherwise, we shouldn't come here again next year and be having such problems. I know it will not take just a year to get it resolved, but let's get the proper engagement with these companies. Let the assembly do their right work. When you get to the local assemblies, you move to
hold on a bit for me.
areas.
I want you to hold on to that point. Don't lose it, because Dr. Ignatius Kweku-Williams will have to leave us at some point. Doc, I've seen a forecast from your office. I'm talking about Ghana Meteorological Agency. You say we should expect some rains going into the night and then early hours of tomorrow morning. Are you able to give us a bit more detail on this? Because it's almost 11 p.m. We're still counting the minutes as based on the forecast that you've given us. Are we still to expect more rains or some rains going into the night, early hours of tomorrow morning?
So there are already cases where we are already seeing some amount of rainfall over the country. We indicated a bit in the afternoon that we had some rainfall over the Ashanti, the Bono East regions, and low clouds that are still hovering over parts of Volta, Accra Central, even parts of Eastern, Central and Western regions, which there's a probability of producing rain between this evening and tomorrow morning. But in the actual forecast, we're seeing some amount of widespread rainfall also for tomorrow. And into the midweek, we're expecting some amount of rainfall, although cloudy conditions are going to occur in parts of the country.
They have to surcharge anybody who is found to have been the one who contributed to the filling of the list. So when you do that, if government is spending 200 million to do the Gary project, and then this wetlands was supposed to augment that of government, and you allow an individual to fill maybe a lake or a basin that would accumulate about 3, 4, 5 million liters of water, then we have a. But let me applaud the minister again. That is what something that she is doing. So it means there's some listening here. People are listening to what we. So we'll sustain this campaign. If we don't see any effort, that's when we'll be relaxed to stop. But like I said, the collector stations, Achimota, what do you call it, Ashaiman, is a collector station for the waste management system.
Thank you.
Adipa, and then media kutuku. Let government engage this established company, and let's have this thing to
be able to
brought
deal
to
with
the
it.
minimum.
It's an
Able to get it
important,
done, yeah.
very important point that you make. Then, this is not going to be a conversation that will end today. In fact, we have to sustain it going forward. Engineer Abdullah Mama, thank you so much for your thoughts on this. And a number of you reported that you do not have electricity, and that's because the Electricity Company of Ghana earlier today gave notice of why they have had to put the lights off in low-lying areas of Accra because of the volumes of water that engulf some of these areas, right? So they put out this information from, there's also another issue of some maintenance they are doing, which will affect some areas. 1st July, Wednesday, parts of Dodowa Town, Baleshi, Oyibi, Apollonia, Adomrobe, and also surrounding areas will be affected. But tomorrow, 30th of June, they are undertaking emergency maintenance works to improve service delivery. So areas Shama, Boise.
When I am Sama, a lawyer Martin Kpebu, editor Efa Chema Wontumi, and lawyer postpone a court on a postpone a final judgment in a corner. What drove some shocking news to be. A bush also subscribe and not subscribe, no one share, no one hit notification bell. So am I then same political headline so I need to be about the doom. Yeah, that was it.